happy privilege to turn the service over to our pastor, Sister Rose. Please welcome her as she comes.
Well, we're happy that you're here this morning. Special welcome to any visitors we may have. May the Lord bless you abundantly. He's the only one that can do it. And I thank him for it today. I'm going to preach a little while to you this morning. Did you trade up or did you trade down? Okay. Ain't nothing worse than having a nice car and you can't afford it and you have to trade down and get a used one. So I'm going to preach to you a little while this morning, and I hope that you will tune in to hear what thus saith the Lord. Father, we're grateful this morning for your blessings and for all that you've done for us. It's a privilege to come to your house to worship you in spirit and in truth. I pray, God, that you would touch your people's lives in a very special way, that you would minister to their needs. I pray, God, for the anointing of God, that your blessings would be upon these people today, that you would cause them, God, to be drawn to you, that you may make the changes in their lives that need to be done. And we'll give you glory and we'll give you honor. Amen and amen. I'm coming to you from 1 Samuel, the 8th chapter. The 4th verse says, Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah, and said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people in all that they say unto thee. For they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them, according to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other gods, so they do also unto thee. Now therefore hearken unto their voice, howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them. I want to preach to you a little while this morning. When you got the good thing, you don't get rid of it. You don't trade it in. You don't trade it for no reason, none. Because what we've got, you know what, if you really understand what you got and value what you got, you'll never trade it in. This is a good walk with God. This is the greatest life. You can't find it better than this. And I look at people today and I'm thinking, well, your life is miserable because of who you chose to follow. So now we find that they're coming to Samuel saying, your sons, they don't walk upright like you. And we just want God to give us a king like everybody else got. And Samuel was grieved over the situation, but God said, hearken to them. Give them what they ask you for. They want a king, I'll give them a king. You know what? The worst thing they could have done was to reject God. He said, Samuel, they didn't reject you. They rejected me. I mean, I cannot even imagine anybody rejecting God to want to walk with him and live for him, because he makes our life so full and so rich, so rich. And so now he said, no, we want a king like everybody else. What is it about man? He wants to run with the large crowd, the big crowd over here. And now we want everything to be like they got it. You don't even know what's all involved with what they got. Sometimes that's what you're wanting from somebody. If you really get into the nitty gritty of it, you would say, no, I don't think I want that. I didn't know it was that bad. I didn't know that's how it worked. So we change our minds. But God said, I want you to tell them, I will give them a king. But can you imagine the heart of God if you have any relationship with him at all? Can you imagine for the moment? How is that? What must he have felt? We don't want the king of the universe to be our leader. Nobody anywhere in the world was greater than him. So how in the world could you reject the best that you got? You know what? Man is crazy. I look at people come in and out of here backsliding, going and coming. And I think to myself, you know what? You're crazy. You're stone crazy. They're trading God in for nothing. I'm talking, they're not making an even exchange. But they're going so far down until it's unbelievable. Now he said unto them, he said, this will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots, and to be his horsemen. And some shall run before his chariots. And he will appoint him captains over thousands and over 50s, and will set them to ear his ground and to reap his harvest. In fact, he's going to make a slave out of them. And to make the instruments of war and instruments of his chariots. And he will take your daughters to be confectionaries and to be cooks and to be bakers. They're going to just be in a place somewhere where all they do is cook food and serve the king. They're servants, they're slaves. He will take your fields and your vineyards and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants. He's going to take everything from you. You know what? When I looked at this, I thought, every time I said, and he will take, and he will take, and he will take. The devil does nothing but take from you. He don't give anything to you. He takes from you. From the time you make up a decision in your mind, you're going to serve the devil, he starts taking from you. Because he's not a giver. He's a robber. He's a killer. He doesn't care about you. So he says, and he shall take your daughters. He will take your fields and your vineyards. He will take the tenth of your seed and of your vineyards. He will take your men servants, your maid servants, and your goodliest young men and your asses and put them to work. He will take the tenth of your sheep, and ye shall be his servants. You shall cry out in that day because of your king, which you have chosen, and the Lord will not hear you in that day. Nevertheless, the people said, refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, nay, we don't care about all that. We still want a king. Man's a fool. You tell people, you know the devil's going to do you a job. It's a matter of time before he's going to kill you. It's a matter of time before he's going to mess your life up. Do you know at the end of the day you're going to hell? Do you understand that he's not about your good, but about the things that are bad? He wants to hurt you and bring you pain and agony and suffering in your life. He doesn't give us joy. He doesn't give us happiness. He don't give us all these things that just make us so thrilled to death, and you get up every morning, the sun's shining. What a beautiful day. You know how many people woke up this morning depressed in spite of a beautiful day? The sun's shining. It's bright. It's just a beautiful fall day. Some people got up this morning depressed. They went to bed depressed. They got up depressed because the devil takes from you. He does not give to you. After the Lord said all the things he's going to do, he's going to abuse you and your family. He's going to take your land. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. Yeah, but we still want us a king. I thought, when I began to study this, I thought, God, if that ain't people today, they will go after a piece of trash in a minute. You're going to give up what we got here? You're going to give up God? This is the best thing that ever happened to me. There is no way I'm selling it out. No, I'm not selling it out. It's not going to happen. He said that we also might be like all the nations, that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. No king could guarantee you a win. Only God. If you go to battle, I'm going with you. I'll go before you. I'll prepare the way for you. I'll be your friend. I'll help you in time of difficulties. When the dark hours come in your life, I will be there. No matter what, you can count on God. If you can't count on nobody, you can count on God. He never makes a promise and break it. Everything he ever said he would do for us, he did it. He has never let us down. No matter what happened, he is there. The best friend you'll ever have in your entire life. You'll never have a better friend. You'll never have anybody who cares about your soul, that who wants to give you something better when this life is over. I mean, it's tough enough in this world with all the stuff we face every day, but when you got God, it makes a world of difference how you go through things. So you look at your life this morning, somebody can tell you all the things that God will do for you and how he'll make you happy. He'll fulfill your dreams. He'll do this, he'll do that. Would you say, well, no, I think I'm going to stay with the devil. Just don't think I'm going to do that. So what's the devil doing for you? Well, really nothing. He's not doing anything for me. But, I just think, well, maybe I'll just stay here. At least I'm sure where I'm at. It's comfort place. I don't have to worry about nothing. When you serve the devil, you got everything to worry about. Everything. So as I looked at that, I thought, it's a terrible thing to be rejected. Be it God being rejected or somebody rejects you. People go through a lot of changes in their life from the plain fact of rejection. They don't function good. Emotionally and psychologically, they have these issues going on in their life because I've been rejected ever since I was a child. People always pushed me to the back of the line. People didn't really care about me. But he never does that. He treats us all the same. Black, white, red, yellow, rich or poor. He treats us all the same no matter what. The Lord said to Samuel, it's not about you, Samuel. So don't worry about that. It's about me. But I'm going to give them a king they ain't going to never forget. You better be careful what you ask God for. Yeah, Lord, I told the Lord, I just want him to bless me with a man. What kind of man? There's some no good men. You better define it. You better define it. Lord, what is your will for my life? I just want God to do this for me. I want God to do that for me. What are you doing for him? That always gets to me. All you hear from people is, what I ask God. I ask God. What did you tell God? What did you tell him you want to do with your life? Do you really want to serve him and do what he wants you to do, or you just want to play games? There are a lot of church people play games. They're not into God. They're into everything but that. I'd rather be somewhere else than be in God's house. Something's wrong with that picture. David said, I was glad when they said unto me, let's go to the house of God. I'm glad about that. Oh no, you come this morning and say, Sister Rose, can I take you to, honey, I'm going to church. There ain't no excuse nowhere that's good enough for you to be out of the house of God. I'm going to church this morning. Yes. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set my mind on him. At the end of the day, let me tell you, there ain't nobody who's going to be there for you like he will. Nobody. Listen, you got all these things they're going to make you all, the essence of it all is that they're going to make all y'all a bunch of slaves. And they're going to take your land, they're going to take your sheep, everything you got, they're going to make you poor. Then he's going to work you to death to be a servant to him. God never, ever puts us in a position where we can't at least make decisions and be able to do some things. A slave don't have no will or desire to do anything because he has to do what the master says. That's what he has to do. Listen, it's a tragedy when I see people. I am turned off. I think about that girl Tashana that was here. I thought, this girl wanted a man so bad. And I just put it on the line. I said, I don't have time for you, baby. Really. If you want a man over God, you know what? Don't be a whore, because that's what whores do. They go from one man to another man to another man. They never stay with one. They just travel around. They're not going to give you happiness. You're not going to be excited about life. It's not going to happen. Think for a minute. For a minute. And say, you know what? When the devil comes along and try to show you where things are so hard and you don't know if you can make it, you tell them, I can make it. I can make it with God. Without God, I can make nothing. I can't do it. I can't be an overcomer. But with him, I am victorious. I am fulfilled. I am empowered. I have been glorified. I have been blessed and lifted up in my life. I'm not giving it up. Listen to this. I've done a little bit of study on what happens when a person is rejected. And it says research shows that rejection triggers the same brain pathways that are activated when we experience physical pain. So, to be rejected, you're going to feel pain literally in your body. This hurts so bad because what they've done is pretty much thrown you away and say you're not worth anything. We don't reject what's good. We reject what's bad. So I don't want to turn that loose. I want to hold on to this. What insurance company says this is the company you keep? Is that New York Life? New York Life. All your insurances you got, you may get rid of all of them, but New York Life is the company you keep. And I kind of agree with it. I've had experiences of having to get death benefits from New York Life for my husband and my daughter. And you know what? They are the most efficient insurance company. And I'm not putting no plug in for them, but this is true. They're efficient. I mean, from the time I contacted them, 3 days later, the death benefit was paid. You didn't have to fight. I had another friend that had one with Mutual of Omaha, and I'm not trying to put them down, but that was who she was with. And we had to get on the phone. We had to ask for the president. It was incomprehensible that they're putting you through this in a time of death and the loss of a loved one. Why are you hounding this woman? And it just went from one thing to another thing and over here and over there. And I'm thinking, I've never seen nothing like it. Doesn't happen with New York Life's company you keep. God is the person that you keep. Yes. You might get rid of everything else. God is the person you keep. When everything else don't work, God works. When everything else is broken or loose, God is there. Kukuya handalabo shata. Glory be unto God. I got it made, baby. I got it going on right now. Why? Because I'm on the winning side. I'm with the one that can't lose, no matter how you look at it. Oh, I can't lose. I can't lose. Nobody ever lost out who connected with God. It wasn't going to happen. Rejection feels terrible because it communicates the sense to something that they are not loved and not wanted or not in some way have value. That's what it says. Look, it makes you feel like you don't have any value. You better forget about man, because he'll be with you today and gone tomorrow. He'll think you're a great person today, and then tomorrow he'll tell you, well, yeah, I don't think that you're really what I thought you was. Honey, you better hook up to God. He's the sure thing. You can count on him. He's always going to be there. See, no, they forsook God, pushed him aside, abandoned him. No, that's why your life is in a mess. That's why things are not going right for you. You picked your husband. You picked your children. You picked your job. Everything is first, not that. No, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I thought God is saying, take a look. Look around you and see all the people whose lives are miserable and unhappy. Why are they miserable? Why are they unhappy? You got church folks who say they saved is depressed. Honey, I can tell you, you ain't saved if you depressed. Oh, no. Salvation takes that away. There's not room for depression. There's not a room of feeling I'm just feeling bad today. I don't feel up to things and I don't know. I'm just here. Honey, you don't know God. When you know him, you're content. You're happy. You're excited about who he is and what he is in your life every day. Not just on a Sunday morning. That's why you ain't got nothing. You only pull God in on a Sunday morning. Baby, he got to be Monday through Friday through Sunday. Again and again and again. No. See, he's my Savior, my love, my everything, every day of the week. And when I get ready to come to church, that's just the icing on the cake. I've been with Jesus all day long. I've been in prayer all day long. Yes. See, look at your life and put yourself in these people's place. What have you said? Well, I'm not into that God stuff. Really? You try to tell me about, well, I'm just not a fanatic. God didn't ask you to be a fanatic. He's asking you to love him with all your heart, with all your soul. No wonder you messed up. That man you got hooked up with, he didn't like you from the beginning. And you got hooked up with him. He didn't want you. You was a plaything. It's not staying with you. All people do nowadays is shack. They don't believe in marriage much no more. Just shack. And don't even change your name because pretty soon you'll have the regular one back. And I want somebody who will be committed to me. People are not about commitment. A commitment means I got to sacrifice myself for you. I don't think you're that good. They had some show on TV not long ago. Some psychologist was talking about these women. Well, if the man says this to you or he says that to you or whatever, and he says um, he's not into you, that means he's just passing by. You are one night stand. That's why you're miserable. You have too many one night stands. I wonder where he's at. So, I listened the other day by some people on TV, and they were saying, me and this man, we were going together, had been together for 3 months, and it seemed like we really had something going. And then I never heard from him anymore. And I just like to know why. Because you went to bed with him. Let me tell you what it's about. If you that easy, why should I have to fight for anything? You pass it out like Cracker Jacks. We're not going to worry about it. Help us, God. You don't have women that are virtuous anymore. That say, I'm of more value than that. No, you just can't walk in my house and have sex with me and then leave, and I'm supposed to be wondering, well, what happened? What you had was free. There's no fight for it. People will tell you what they have to fight for, they appreciate. They appreciate it. If I have to really go to war for it when I win, I appreciate it. But if it's just there to have because I can have it, more and more, you see people just breaking up. I have had more women in this prayer line up here that I'm praying for, crying. I said, what's wrong? My boyfriend, I thought I knew it was him. I just knew it. I just knew it. My boyfriend, I said, honey, get rid of the boyfriend. If he's got you up here crying, he's got you up here like you can't make it, you don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know this and that. Get rid of trouble. Why do you embrace trouble? I don't care how much feelings you think you got. Let me tell you what, don't embrace the wrong thing because it'll cause you pain. It'll cause you suffering. The only person I hold on to is God. When it's all said and done, that's all that's going to matter anyway. I said, when the Lord took my husband from me 25 years ago and took my daughter 4 years after he was gone, my life was still enriched. I was still preaching this gospel. I was still thanking God. I was still appreciating the things he had done for me. He didn't owe me nothing. One thing you need to get in your head, God don't owe you, you owe him. You owe him your life. Yes. What are you doing with your life? He gave his life so you can have life. Now give it back to him. And say, Lord, here I am. I'll serve you. I'll live for you. That's what he's looking for. I know for some people, they making excuses for being weak. It runs in my family. You don't have to have weakness in your DNA. Who respects weakness? You ever heard anybody give somebody that's weak an award? When you're with God, he makes you strong. Don't give in to stuff. They used to say all the time, Rose don't think. She just blurts things out. Oh, I think. My Aunt Irene, which was my mother's sister, we were on welfare. She worked at Chronicle Hospital in St. Louis. And she would go over to Mollison's store. Mollison was a little grocery store across from where we live. And she'd go over and get pork chops and ham and all this. good meat and stuff while we was eating bologna. So she walked in one day. I must have been about 14. She walked in one day, and I said, "You know what? We're about sick of you." And my grandma said, "Rose." I said, "No, we are sick of her. Why should her kids eat ham and pork chops and all this good stuff while me and Hannah eat bologna and she ain't paying the bill? She got a job." Oh, my auntie got mad at me. She mad at me the rest of my life. And I asked me, do I care? I didn't care it was right. Why are we paying your bill at Mollison's store out of our welfare check? And then we're not eating none of it. You eating it all. No, I can't have that. They say, Rosa always have been a person to just blurt out what she feels. You're right. Somebody better tell this woman that. She never liked me since. And ask me, do I care? No, I didn't. I don't need you to like me. I need you to quit eating that ham and pork chop. That's what I need you to do. And you know what? It got so bad. We felt so deprived. I promised myself something. I should have never made that promise. I promised myself when I get grown, I'm having pork chops every day. I should have never told myself that. And for a while, I did eat pork chops every day. When I walked in the store, the man said, 2 pork chops. I didn't even have to tell him what I wanted. And I was giving nobody a bite. Nobody. And I remember my Aunt Geneva coming where I was frying my pork chops, and she comes in there. She's kind of blind, so she comes around, kind of tipping around. And I'm looking at her thinking, tell me, what is that, baby? I said, pork chops, and you're not getting any. I'm cooking it, you're not getting none. This is my day, my time. I'm having some pork chops. So the Lord spoke to me later on in my life, said, if you don't quit eating that pork every day, it's going to kill you. I backed off from it, so I don't have that anymore. Every now and then, I'll have a pork chop. But back in the day, I don't care what I ate all day long for. I go to bed that night, it's 2 pork chops on a sandwich. I'm going to have that. And don't you dare ask for it. And Aunt Geneva was stingy as they could get. And she walking in there trying to see what it is. I thought, you're not getting no pork chop. But it come to a time if somebody's going to have to speak up. We have nothing but the greatest of respect for Senator Flake this week like I have never had in my life. And our organization is going to Washington end of October, and they're taking a plaque to him. Can we thank you for standing up? When everybody else didn't stand up, he stood up. First, he voted. I'm going to vote for Kavanaugh. But then, when all this stuff kept coming, and then what happened, these 2 women cornered him on the elevator. And you could tell he was bothered by it. I thought, this is a man with a conscience. This is a man who feels. And he said, I can't do it. His face, the look on his face when she said, I was sexually abused. I was sexually assaulted. And when you signed for him, Senator Flake, what about my life? Are you saying that we don't matter? What are you saying to us? He couldn't even hold it. She said, look at me when I'm talking to you. You know what? It takes a strong woman, a strong person, to stand up and speak when everybody else is going the other direction. I still can speak to it. Vitally important. That it put women in a place of rejection. Do I agree 100% with all these women I say coming out the woodwork? No. Because so many of them in Hollywood, they sleep their way to the top. So that's part of the game. But what about those people that didn't? See, but you know what? When you get God in your life, whatever's happened in your life that may have been a bad situation, you get salvation, it's over. If you still carrying it after you get Jesus in your heart, you don't have him in there. Because whatever you went through, however difficult it was, when you get him in your life, hey, I'm fine now. I don't believe in this stuff about I messed up 40 years later because my father raped me. I'm 50 years later, I was abused. 50 years? It's time to stand up. and be counted as one that says, in spite of what might have happened in my yesterdays, I'm talking about today. I got the victory today. I'm an overcomer. He already promised me that. He told me the devil is under my foot. Now put your hand on him. Don't let him run your life. No, it's not going to happen. I'm happy. I told you I went home to my mother's operation when they did hard surgery on her. And my sisters and brothers, there's 8 of us, was all sitting in the waiting room. And my oldest brother says, I just think about how we was treated when we were kids, We look like refugees. I'm thinking, I don't look like a refugee now. I don't care what I look like at 10 years old. I'm grown. I have some control in my own life. All of them just going around the circle. Yeah, you remember such thing. And so I thought, let me get up out of here. I just took me a walk down the hallway and thought, leave them moaning, groaning folks in there talking about nothing. Give me a break. I want to be happy. If I was a refugee when I was 10, I'm 35 now. I'm not a refugee. Get out of here. Can't get past yesterday. Honey, yesterday is one day. Hey, I got a new day today. And because I got God in my life, because I didn't push him aside, what will you give in exchange for your soul? People exchanging it. We had a guitar player sit up here since he was 2 years old. Left the church for a whore. I came back, come on. I got to get out of here. I thought you wasn't nothing to you. You look like a chipmunk. And sitting up here playing a guitar. And weak to sex. You say, well, honey, we're human. We don't have to be a fool. Yes. We are human. That's why Jesus came. So he could die for our humanity. To give us power. To be able to overcome. Don't tell me about that garbage. The Lord told me when he took Charles, he said, you preached against women having affairs and committing fornication and all that stuff. But when you don't have a husband, your message will have a lot more power. I said, well, she can say that, honey, why she got her husband laying in bed with her every night. Well, I don't have him in there every night. No. Am I still saved? 25 years later, still saved. 25 years later, no man's been in my house. Unless it's my son-in-law or my son. What are you talking about? I was 49 years old when he died. He said, I wasn't what you call old. I'm a little older now. And still don't have to go down that road. Get out of here. You can't stay saved because I'm going to have some sex. They don't have sex in hell. Understand it, baby. When you go to hell, you're going to do without sex. Walk around here talking about what you can't do and I can't make it. And don't trade God in for sex. It's a moment. It's a second. I don't believe it. No matter who has sex in their life, rest assured of this one thing. All the foreplay's got its place. You're going to have a climax in a few seconds. And look like one of them rabbits that they hooked that machine up to. And Did you see that scientific study they did on these rats? And they wanted to know, how often did these rats wanted sex and how long could they continually have sex? They hooked them to this machine that caused them to reach climax, and they look just like a fool. That's just the way some of you look. God said, I'll give you grace. I'll help you. I'll give you strength. I'll take you through. You don't have to give in. Don't tell me you got to give in. Joseph didn't give in. He said, no, I'll let you have my coat. But I'm out of here. when his boss, his master's wife wanted to have sex with him and tried her best to set him up and was going to pull him in the bed, he come out the coat and left the coat. Some of you fools been saying, man, I just bought that coat. I wasn't giving my coat up. For your soul, take the coat. Take whatever you want to take, but I'm not going to hell. I have no respect for people who can't stand up and women be women and men and stand up to be what God made you to be. And I don't have to bow to nothing. And I'm not trading in my salvation. I told my husband when I was 16 years old, I said, the Lord takes you before he takes me. I said, I'll never marry again. Rose, you can't say that. Do you know you can't make that kind of a statement? I said, watch me. You're the only one, and there's never going to be another. Had a great marriage, married for 35 years. Beautiful marriage. 7 kids too many. Yeah. But you know what? To this day, grace is sufficient. You don't have to go down. You don't have to be a slut. You don't have to be a whoremonger. You can stand up and be counted and say, count me in. Yes. God says, I reach my hand out to you and you won't even reach back. I sent my son to die for you and you treat him like he's dirt. You're not treating him right. When you don't serve God, don't even want to go to church. No, I didn't go this morning. Going to work tomorrow? Oh, yeah, we got to pay the bill. You ain't going to have no bills to pay when you get to hell. Your bills you're going to leave behind. But they don't want to go to church. I mean, little things. Go to church. I say to the homeless people, come to church. Make a relationship with God. That's going to make the difference in your life. While you out there on the street begging, you don't have to beg. David said, I was young, now I'm old. I ain't never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed beg bread. You don't have to worry about whether, he said, I will supply all of your needs according to my riches in glory. Everything you need, I'll work it out for you. And he's working it out. You got to come to him. Don't trade him in, baby. It ain't never worth it. I can tell you it's not worth it. I ain't leaving God to go nowhere. That's in my heart. It's not happening. Where God wants me to be is where I'm going to be. The safest place in the whole wide world is in the will of God. What is the will of God for your life? That's where my life is. I don't care about all this other stuff in the world. Don't care about none of it. I just love God. Me and him got this great relationship, and boy, is it good. Charles, we had the greatest marriage, but nothing compared to what I got with him. Absolutely nothing. So when I look at people, I'm thinking, you did that. You went there. You gave it up for that. It's unbelievable. I told the Lord about our guitar player. I said, Lord, he traded you in for a piece of trash. On the internet with all her rear end showing and boobs hanging out and everything. I said, he traded you in for trash. That ain't no lady. Is this wrong? You think you're a bit much? No, I think you are. Think about it. I thought you gave up God. Oh, that'll never work. It'll never last. Anything you sacrifice God for never lasts. You better get that, Carmen. You better get that. You are continually sacrificing God. And let me tell you, he's coming to get you too. He's going to get you. I mean, we heard preaching this morning. Here you are fumbling with the baby. I thought, honey, it's a God time. Forget the baby for a minute. It's God's time. The mama's there. What's the problem? It's a God time. You think husband and wife should be sitting up in church hugging each other? That's God's time. Do it at home. You got all your time to smooch and kiss and smooch and kiss. When you come in here, it's time for worship. It's time for praising God. Look at your life this morning, what did you do? Did you trade down or did you trade up? Because when you came to Jesus, you traded up. Oh, yes. McCain said one time, Senator McCain, before he died, he said, I married up because his wife was an heir. She's a multi-millionaire. He wasn't no millionaire. He said, I married up. I'm married up, I got the benefits as if I am a millionaire. And what did you marry? Just stop for a minute and think about that Negro or that white boy you married. Yes. I'm married down. This is a gutter joker here. And you expecting something great out of a gutter bomb? Ain't nothing coming to you, baby. You're going to be in the gutter. Trade up to Jesus. Let me tell you, it pays to serve Jesus. It pays every day. Yes, it does. To trade down is to buy something that is of lower value, something that is of less value. I just went on down to this. When you give your life to Jesus, that's a trade up. Boy, I was tired of being in the gutter. I come out of there. I gave my life to God. So what makes you tick? Jesus. What makes you happy? Jesus. How do you keep going? Jesus. Everything is about him. Just happy. I just dare not to be happy. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful life. You can just look around the world. You go in the grocery store today, you see people buying groceries looking like this. And nothing is worse than when they got a calculator. Nothing is worse than that. Ain't nothing more embarrassing than not having enough money to pay for it. My auntie did that to us one time. I'll never forget it. She's dead now. Praise God. Took us to the grocery store in Sport, Illinois. It's a very small town outside of St. Louis, about 65 miles. Took me and my younger sister to the store, buying all this stuff, filling up the basket. I never forgot that situation. Got up there and had $20. I couldn't even add good then. But I know this basket looks more than $20. Then had me and my sister running back down the aisles, putting stuff on the shelf, putting stuff back in the refrigerator. We just running like two little dumb little black kids, running down there, coming back, going to get the other. I think, didn't you know you didn't have enough money? I didn't care for her either, and she didn't care for me. So I thought a lot of things she'd done, she was so out of line. You know what? When you trade down, you ain't going to do nothing but run back and forth, looking for happiness over here, over there. The devil going to keep you running and laughing at you while you do it. That's what's going to happen. Going to laugh at you, make fun of you. That's what he's doing. God will never do that. If we're in pain or we're having a difficult time, he's going to come and help us. Let me help you. Let me hold your hand. Let me give you strength. Let me be master of your life. The people you got that's master of your life is all messed up. All messed up. You know, you don't get a master that's messed up and you messed up. You need somebody who's bigger than you. Say somebody bigger than you. You are trading everything that's good for absolutely nothing. Every one of them people that backslid, all of them. I warned them, all of them. We had a good church here for those young people. No, nothing's better than getting a boyfriend and lying about it. See? What you give in exchange for your souls. Think most people that do an exchange get something of equal value. Except if you trade God in for the devil, you didn't get nothing. You lost. See? So what would it profit you if you do it all? If you became a star overnight, I ain't never understood what being a star was. Why is that exciting? Somebody in your face all the time. Every minute, every time you go somewhere. No, no. So what you think you want that's going to make your life full, take time to think again. If it's a trade down, it'll never fill your life up. But if you trade up, you'll have abundance, running over, plenty of everything, enough for you and enough to share with somebody else. Think about it. This is a time that I think that God is trying to say to his people, look over here. You've been bypassing me for the longest. I'm what you're looking for. And you say, no, that's not God. It's not church. I don't think that's what I'm looking for. Man, it is not in man to know his own steps and what to do. That's in the hand of God. And you and I just got to say, Lord, you help me to do it right. Put me in a good place. This is a mixed up, confused world. You see men walking around and saying, I don't know who I am. I think I'm born a man, but I really think I'm a woman. How did God confuse that? He didn't confuse that. When you're born, immediately the doctor can tell whether you're a girl or a boy. Immediately. What makes you get up and figure out, I think I'm a girl? You're not a girl. I had to work with a couple like that, two homosexual. One was my insurance man, Bob. And Tom was so girlish until he'll make you sick. And he said, Rose, you know what? They want to come in here and break up my happy home. I said, Tom, that's not what God planned for us. It's not what he planned. You have to watch people that break up your happy home. You're not going to be happy like that. And Bob came to me in private and said, Rose, I want out of here. He said, I ain't got no money to move right now. I said, I'll help you. You want to move? I'll help you. I said, now, Bob, if you don't get out quick, he's not going to let you out. Because that was like getting into a web, like a spider. Do you get tangled up in that? You can't get out. I said, you better get out of there. He said, I want out of this. I don't feel right about it. I said, Tom, Bob, I'll help you. You need to get an apartment. I'll help you get an apartment. He said, okay. He didn't make it. I called back. I said, Bob, he said, I can't go, Rose. I said, I told you you had to run quick. Tom, you got to outrun Tom. It's the only way you're going to make it. Stop and think. People are confused. This is a devil thing. Anything the devil can mess up that God has made, that's what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. He's making a mess of men's lives because you are important to God, and he wants to do anything that God has created and made a certain way. I want to mess it up and cause it to go another way just to get back at God. Think for a minute. You don't want to trade down. You want to trade up. Nothing worse. You drive to church in a Mercedes. Come back next Sunday with a Volkswagen. That's a big fall. Say, where's your car? Oh, I had to trade. I had to get rid of it. Couldn't afford them payments. See, with God, it's not about what you could afford. It's about what he wants to give you. It makes a world of difference. It makes a world of difference. When the young ruler, I'm getting ready to close, came to Jesus and said, what can I do to have eternal life? He said, go and sell out. Get rid of everything you got and give it to the poor. And the scripture says he went away sorrowful, traded down. Because the treasure's in heaven. If you're going to have treasures in heaven, you got to trade up. So look at yourself this morning. Ask yourself, Sister Rose, you know what? God had to be talking to me. Because for some kind of way, I'm not where I need to be, and you're not. Ask God to make the changes. Ask him to bring you in. Give me a mind, God, to want to be a Christian. Because at this point in my life, everybody's there Christians. Everybody's doing what they want to do. Not everybody. I can speak for this preacher. I'm not doing what everybody else is doing. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm doing it right. And you can do the same. Come on, singers and musicians. You can do the same. Many of his disciples, when they heard the message, they turned away from him. When you hear God speaking to you and you don't like it, are you going to turn away? He looked at them, he said, will you also go away? Peter said, Lord, where are we going? You're all we got. We ain't going to have no life if we leave you. That's the truth. You're not going to have a life without God. That's why you're always in this state of confusion, depression, upset. You could come to my house 7 days a week and you will not find me sitting somewhere like this. Unless I'm reading my Bible. I'm depressed. The doctor gave me some pills. Them pills are not going to take away demon depression. You're talking about demon spirits here oppressing and depressing your spirit. This morning you sitting there, Sister Rose, I know God was talking to me. I just know it. I'm all messed up. And Bianca, I'm going to be praying for you that God would take that which he put in me to become disciplined in every aspect of my life. I'm going to pass it over to you. You might as well have some. You can have a victorious life if you want to. Get in that prayer line, Bianca. Yeah, stand to your feet. You want prayer, please come forward. You want God this morning, you say to him, Lord, forgive me of my sins. Wash me and make me clean. Come into my heart. Give me the power to say no to the wrong and yes to the right. The only God can equip man with the power to say no and to say yes to him. If you want that this morning, you can have it. It's not complicated. It's not hard. You can do it if you want to. Or you can remain an in and out person until you die and go to hell. It ain't even worth it. It ain't worth it.